Hello, thank you for watching this week's pick-a-read. For this week, actually I'm going to use two decks. This is one, I've used this a few times lately. Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's her last name, because I will butcher that like nobody's business. This other deck I don't use very often, and some of you probably realize why. Others, well, don't worry about it, but today I was really pulled to use this deck. And it's the Romance Angels Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Sometimes I stay away from this deck for a few different reasons. I think it's a kind of cliche sometimes, but I find it's not only tied to romance. It comes through with other messages for other situations. So that's what I'm using. Just to let you know. I'm willing to say probably a lot of you are very familiar with that. The creator of that deck, which, I don't know. I hope it's okay. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little weird with certain things. We're going to do 5 piles. Oh, the question is, what do I not know about this situation that could help me? And I know the not know sounds a little weird, probably, but I don't know. It just felt like I needed to write it down that way. I think I should have wrote it. What do I not know? No. I don't know. I knew the right way to write it a minute ago, but I was just like, it didn't feel right, so I wrote it that way. Just in case you're hearing me read that and you're cringing. You're like, oh, that really sounds bad. A little cringy, you might say, but... Okay. Let's get this... Actually, these messages. These are messages, channeled messages, so we'll see what happens with those. And the stones. Where's my stones? Okay, this one. Okay, we're going to start with rainbow hematite right here. I'll put that close to me. Actually, let me just leave it there for a second, just in case I need the thumbnail, because sometimes I don't leave them there long enough. So we're going to do rainbow hematite. This is rose quartz. It's a little smooth piece. It's actually quite elegant in my opinion. We're going to do the gold stone, the heart gold stone right here after it. The selenite here, which is ironic. It looks like a bar of soap to me, which I think is funny. And then the green calcite. Okay. So what we got for y'all? Okay, so the rainbow hematite. I find a lot lately, and I know when I bought this stone, they mentioned that it was for getting control over other people, which is not my thing. But I was like, well, I think it's pretty. I'm going to get it anyway. I've personally found, like, if you think somebody's manipulating you or has control over you, this is about regaining your own strength, regaining your own perspective, regaining your own control over your own life and the situation, having your own viewpoint and having it be heard. It's grounding the situation so that you're heard if somebody else is taking your power. That's a positive use for this, and I personally find that's how that works for me. So if you like rainbow hematite, there you go. That's what I've found. Let's see. This came... My first thought was counterfeit when I saw that. That's still face down. Alright, well, let's see what the channeled message is. The question again, what do I not know about this situation that could help me? And there's going to be more you don't know. I feel like that's why that's still face down. Expanding your knowledge and limits. Oh, this was the hard one. Now, when I was getting this message and I was like viewing, like, because, you know, I basically get images or situations that I have to put into words. I was seeing a person I know, and they're a very good person, but they're developmentally disabled. And I saw this person walking down the street doing the best they could, but there were certain things that were going to come at them that they just weren't going to be familiar with or be able to handle. And it doesn't have anything to do with anybody's mental prowess or anything like that. But I think the message was, you know, sometimes life throws things at you and you just aren't going to know what to do with it. We're just not going to be prepared for everything. There's going to be something that comes your way and you're going to be like, I may have come across this before, but I still don't know what to do with it. Or maybe it's completely foreign, or it's just out of your wheelhouse. Like, sometimes there's people I deal with that have issues and I'm just like, I don't know what to do for you. Sorry. But like, I'll do the channeled information, but when they ask me beyond that, I'm like, I have no experience beyond the channeled information, what to tell you. And I think this is one of those situations, kind of like, you're not going to understand or be able to deal with everything that comes at you in life. There's confusion and there's religious factors here, which is telling me whatever you're dealing with this situation, when I feel religious factors, especially the confusion, it's almost like people who judge me for what I'm into or who I am. And it doesn't matter what type of person I am. They look at small details about me, or it's come in a lot of different ways. Where I've grown up has come against me, my gender, my sexuality, my religion. I've had it come over the last 44 years. I've been kind of shocked. My level of income, I'm like, geez, people, are we just pulling from the bottom of the barrel here, or is there more? But I feel like when they see religious factors, people have certain ideas or certain boxes that they put people in that make sense to them. But I'm getting here that there's something going on where it's like the person you're dealing with, their set of rules or morals make sense to them, but probably won't make sense to you. And it's probably an upbringing thing or something that they've developed along the way. They just feel this way about people that fit this certain stereotype, and that's just how they treat them. Because that's what I'm getting from this. And when I'm getting this rainbow hematite for you, it's kind of like, remember that it's their perception. Don't let their perception become your perception. If somebody's treating you badly or just treating you strangely, or even worse, if they're treating somebody else badly or strangely and you're not really understanding why, and it's due to something that maybe you don't agree with, make sure that you have your own voice. Don't just play along with something because you don't want to be the squeaky wheel. If somebody else is being treated badly, don't just let that happen. Have your voice. You know what I mean? Don't let that just happen. Because what I'm getting here is expanding your knowledge and limits is kind of like, realize that this person is, if this is really hitting for you, is probably somebody you care for. I can think of somebody in my life at the moment that I very much like, but they have a very outdated, weird viewpoint. And I try to keep liking this person, but the longer it goes, the less I want to be around this person, I'm finding. And it's very conflicting because their initial essence I very much like. Their attitude and how they're handling certain things is kind of driving us apart. But, again, I hold to my strength. I hold where I stand and how I feel. And I'm just kind of seeing where it's going. This is also a warning. Whatever you're dealing with this situation, there's a lot of confusion, a lot of outdated rules, weird rules. Like they have personal rules that just don't fit. I just feel like they don't fit. It's like judging somebody on their skin color or where they grew up or their religion or anything like that. Just prejudging. It feels like there's a prejudging thing here. And it creates confusion. Like, how can they be such a good person but have these ideals? It really doesn't make sense to me. Keep going forward. They're saying just keep watching. They're also saying stick with this person. Like, there's an opportunity here. I don't feel like it's time to walk away from this. I'm getting very soon with the growth. Like, things are going to start looking better. I feel like your voice... Have your voice. Your voice is important. It's not only helping you hold your ground, but I feel like this person needs to realize, people that they like as well. And I feel like this goes both ways. You like this person, they like you. When somebody they likes, has a commitment to their own viewpoint to stand up and say, you know what, I don't agree with that. That's not how I feel. I can't say that's okay. Even though it's an uncomfortable moment, that has an effect. It has a positive effect. Growth could come from this. What do we not see here? This could be a lot better. Playfulness. Ooh, this is a tricky one. Be careful of this card. It sounds fun, very soon in growth, but they're saying this is one of those things where I've seen come forward, like people get really relaxed and they say things, and maybe somebody makes an off-color joke. Or they say something that just, it sounds funny on the outside, and maybe you've heard it a few times, but when you really think about it, it's not funny because it's making fun of a group or a type of person or something like that. Like, I don't want to put any examples here. I just think that's rude. But, it's one of those things where you hear it and part of you just kind of cringes. Like, you understand why people think it's funny, but you're also kind of like, I don't really think that's a good thing to, like, if the wrong person hears that, then that could be very painful for somebody. And I feel like when you're looking at this moment, there's a playful moment coming forward where you can kind of redirect a moment. I almost feel like this is hard. This is a hard one because you get growth very soon and this playfulness, and it's face down, which makes me feel like it's literally one of those moments. People are relaxing, having fun. Somebody says something a little off color. I don't know how far it's going. It depends on your situation. you don't really feel like it's okay, but you're kind of like, I don't want to be the wet blanket. I feel like you should have your voice. This is what you need to know about the situation that could help you. You having your voice changes things. There's usually people around a situation when these comments are made, these jokes are made, that don't. There's other people who don't feel good about it either. But when somebody has the guts to stand up and say, you know what, I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt here, but I'm not really okay with that joke. I'm really not okay with that comment. And I know you didn't mean it that way, but you never know who's listening. That's not okay, because somebody around you is hearing that and taking it in a very negative way. So how negative and what way negative, it's a general read. But I feel like you standing up and saying your piece, I mean, you don't have to be on a soapbox about it, but just kind of saying, it's not really my type of thing. It's not really something I find funny. You know what I mean? Just kind of playing it. You can even, I've seen some people just they just try not to play into it, and they just change the conversation, sometimes without actually directly commenting on a situation, but just taking the situation in a whole different way. People get the hint, I'm not okay with that. And every time it comes up, if you just keep, you just don't acknowledge it and move in a different direction, it's more of a passive way to handle it, granted. But if you're really uncomfortable and you just I don't want to have a big confrontation over this, that's another way to handle it, where you don't have to feel that uncomfortable, but still make a point that's not okay with you. Because sometimes those situations are hard, not for nothing. And if you can have anything to say about it to where you kind of change the current, even a little bit of the change is better than nothing, because a lot of people just kind of go along with it. If you don't go along with it in some respect, you just kind of try to change the current, even if it's just a minimal way, in your opinion, it still makes an effect. Are we good? Good. All right. So that's what you don't know about the situation that would help you. Let's go into the next one. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. I'm just going to move my stuff out of the way here. Sorry for the delay. Okay, what's next? Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz. It's an active energy. Another reader, I wish I remember who it was. She was really cool. She made a point that this is an energy stone. This is active love. This is somebody actively loving. It's not just sitting here and vegging out. It's actively loving somebody, caring for somebody. There's an energy behind this stone. So sometimes it's actively loving, taking initiative, or looking out for somebody when you're loving someone. When you care about somebody, it doesn't have to be romantic. This is very soft color, very soft pink. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera because it looks very white on camera to me. It's very soft color, but I feel like it's a quartz. It's got energy. It's putting out a pulse. It's putting out action. So keep that in mind when we're going through this. It is definitely a love stone, but it's an active, taking care of somebody, actively doing something. It's outside of your control. Oh boy. Let's see what are we going for. Okay. So what you do not know that would help you about this situation, and this could help you. Okay, the facade and the destiny. This is out of your control. So what you're seeing, whatever this is going, and I felt this when I was channeling this, because like I said in the last one, it's usually images, and I have to take the images and put them into words. I see all this stuff going on around the situation, it's basically saying this is out of your control. Other people are doing things. There's a facade. The facade makes me feel like it may look like one thing to you, and you see one thing. You see one thing right in front of you, but something else is going on. And the destiny is somebody else is on their way to fulfilling something. This is interesting because I almost feel like it's like somebody's making their own bed. This could be a person who is constantly playing games or pulling some type of, what do you call those? Spiritual pattern. They have something going on where they keep creating a mess. They keep going around in a circle. And I'm noticing I'm doing this Widdershins. I almost feel like the destiny of this is saying it's time for them to undo what they've done. It's kind of like they created the mess. Now it's time to uncreate the mess, and life is going to make them do it. The universe is going to say, hey, you created that. Guess what? Time to play cleanup. Your turn with the broom and mop. Good luck. You created that mess. Now you fix it. So this isn't happening for you, but this is saying this is completely out of your control. This is somebody who looks really good on the outside. I'm getting a shiny, bright person on the outside. Everything looks good. They got everything under control. You know, they're not telling you what's really going on. It's almost like, you know, you go to somebody's house and they wave to you from the window and you're like, oh, look at your beautiful house and your beautiful lawn, and it looks great from the outside. Meanwhile, behind there, you got a cat ripping up the sofa, you got a dog pooping in the corner, you got a mess over in the pantry, you know, you got dishes in the sink for days. Like, you don't know what's really going on in that house. Just from the window, you know, oh yeah, it's great. That's the facade. It's like, from the distance you get, you think it's all great, and they're playing it off like, yeah, it is, my life's the best life. I mean, I wish everybody's life could be as good as mine. Meanwhile, in reality, it's kind of like, oh no, it's a mess. Destiny is coming in. Like, this is outside of your control. Now, this is somebody that looks good on the outside, but you might be having a difficult time with, because this is also an energy, I feel. It points out other people's problems, other people's shortcomings, so people can't see their own. It's like this person says, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. No, you got to work on this. No, you got to, no, I know. I see my beautiful house. I obviously know what I'm doing. So I'm telling you what you need to do. Yeah, you can see their beautiful house from a distance. If you went in that house, you'd see what a mess it really is. This is like one of those things. I hope this doesn't like backlash against me, but I'm going to go there. Like, I'm not really one to do spiritual, what do you call that? Spiritual mentoring, spiritual guidance. You know where people do that, like spiritual coach thing. I'm of the school of thought, like, we all have problems, and I'm just kind of like, I don't want to act like my life is all, you know, sunshine and roses. You know what I mean? I mean, I do the best I can with my own, but like, I feel like this is one of those situations where, oh my God, I'm going to tell everybody else how to live their life. Meanwhile, my own life is a freaking mess. My life is not that much of a mess. I'm just saying. But that's one of the reasons I'm just like, I don't feel like I don't want to do that, because I'm just like, not that you have to be perfect to lead people, but I've seen other people, especially in the area that I'm in, you know, they have all the answers for everybody else. Meanwhile, they're living out of a bucket. I'm like, what are you doing? Get out of here. Like, you know, I've seen some people that I'm just like, oh my Lord, how can you lead anybody when your own life's a frickin' train wreck? I don't get it. But this is one of those things where I feel like this is that type of person. Like, this person is actually, like, it looks great on the outside, but on the inside, it's kind of like, oh boy, they don't have a clue in life. They can't even lead their own life. How are you going to lead somebody else if you can't fix your own life? I don't get that. To me, I'm just like, I don't believe that. I'm not one of those people, like, if you can't bring your own stuff together, you can bring somebody else's. I don't think so. If you can't live your own life, you can't live somebody else's, and you shouldn't be trying to anyway. Okay, so now that we had fun on that soapbox, this is what's going on with this. Like, this annoys me. This really gets on my skin, under my skin. Now, you may really like this person, so I'm not trying to be all, you know, monster man here about it, Gargamel with the Smurfs and all that. But, and that's fine. This one for others of you might be like kind of like I'm thinking of a specific person. Just kind of like give that person the benefit of the doubt. Be a little bit more caring. Sometimes people put up more of a front because they're in so much pain. That's all they know what to do. They concentrate on other people's problems so they don't have to concentrate on their own. Put a little care into this. Just, I feel like that's what they're saying, to make the situation better for you in the sense where you look back on this over time. Just be a little more caring. Try to talk to this person, or, you know, handle this person with a little bit more care, mostly for yourself. When you look back and you're kind of like, I had no idea their life was actually like that. You know, you didn't want to add to it. You wouldn't want to add to it. So I'm kind of feeling that with the rose quartz, just like a little more soft touch from you, because at some point I feel like you just might figure out what's going on with this person at some point, or maybe you've heard rumors. Maybe those rumors aren't so much rumors as, you know, masked facts or facts that this person's trying to keep hidden. I'm just saying, because they're saying this person actually could, I feel like this person could actually get a lot of help from you if they learned how you did things, and they, you know, hung out with you a little bit, like listened to you a little bit. They might be able to fix their own life a little bit more, because I'm getting the facade. Whoever this person is that tries to come off as bright and shiny, I don't feel like their life is nearly as nice as they make it play off to be. I feel like they could use some help, and you probably could help this person. It's safe for you to love and stay optimistic. These two here is like this person. I feel like you could actually help this person. And what you don't know about the situation that could help you is that if you're kind to this person, you're considerate in the sense of, like, you know, what you talk to them about, you just keep it between you and them, you might be able to help them stand up and actually, you know, start living the life that they're pretending to lead. Because I feel like the facade, whatever they're pretending to do, they could actually maybe do that, but or at least get more on the line of reality there. But I feel like you could probably help them get in line with that and pull their wagons together and get the show together the way they actually want it to be. So they might actually need a little bit of care. This would actually pay off for you, because by helping this person, their life gets better, but I feel like your life gets better too. Especially if this person is a little bit aggravating to you right now. I feel like once you gain that trust with them and you help them out a little bit, I'm not saying you have to do things for them, maybe just talk it out and give them ideas about how to do things differently. I feel like this could really improve, this situation and this connection with this person. All right, I think we're good with that. All right, what do we have for the next one? Fair warning, I have a crazy cat who might just do what he wants and jump into frame at any time. I have no idea, just fair warning. Because he's kind of prowling around over here. Alright, the goldstone. Goldstone. Persistence. This one's about persistence, which is interesting. I lost this stone years ago, ironically. And I just recently found it in the bottom of a closet, and I was like, oh, there you are. How persistent of you to just not give up. I thought that was funny. So that's what that stone's about. Let's move you down there. All right. Okay, let's start with this. I feel like we shouldn't touch about this just yet. Release, service, and let go of control issues. It's interesting with this goldstone because it's about persistence. What you don't know about the situation that could help you. And it's interesting because I'm starting to feel like it's kind of like the stone. I lost it for, I swear, a few years. And it just popped up when it wanted to. I wonder if this is going to be one of those situations for you where you need to kind of let it go. It's kind of like if you really love something, let it go. It may not come back for a while, but if it's really meant to be yours, it will. Because I feel like you're trying to keep connection. Somebody's trying to release, but they're just doing what they feel like they need to do. Somebody's just connected to you. Probably should put this in frame so you can see it. I hear that's fun. When I'm feeling this service, I feel like this is the other energy you're dealing with. Like it's somebody who feels like they have to stay connected with you, but they don't really want to. Not at the moment. That's how it feels. I'm seeing control issues on your side, but I'm seeing this release. And that's this release, this card in this deck is not really looking the most cheerful. It feels a little bit worrisome. Like, well, if I release this, then what? What happens if I do release this? For some others of you, I feel like there's somebody else here that feel like they need you, but you do need to release it. The release is very strong here. The let go, especially let go and release, I'm really feeling. Control issues, you'd let me know. I mean, you know if that's control issues or not. You know if you're having a hard time letting go of that because of that. But I'm also feeling like it doesn't mean that you're trying to control the issue. Is this other person trying to control you? Like somebody feeling like they need you to keep you connected. I feel like you need to get out of this situation. Because persistence, the interesting thing about persistence is it's a good energy and it works very well towards success when things are going well. The negative side of persistence is kind of like if you should be letting go of something and you're not, like, well, we don't have to get into the signs that do that, but I guess we could. Taurus seems to be one. Like, they're usually very successful. And when they're going in a great direction, sky's the limit. But they're also the ones that, like, when things aren't going well, they have a hard time letting go, and they'll keep trying and keep trying to fix something that's just beyond repair. That's the same energy. You know what I mean? It's a good. The energy is not good nor bad. I should be fair. It's not good nor bad, but it's the direction you're taking it in. And they're saying maybe the persistence here should be more about you and less about them. Being more persistent about your mental health and clarity, and knowing what's right for you. I'm also kind of worried about this persistence energy with the service. Kind of like somebody's making you feel like, oh, if you walk away, this is going to fall apart. Or if you walk away, you're going to have these problems. You're going to have this, these consequences. They're making you feel bad about it. I feel like this is what they're saying about this situation. Is like it feels like you need to let it go. Is it fantasy or fiction? Keep an open mind. What they're telling you, however they're trying to keep you connected here, is it real or is it not? Or vice versa, if this is somebody you're trying to keep in your life, and they seem to be trying to pull away, is it fantasy or is it fiction? Keep an open mind, like, whatever the situation is, if it's meant to keep going, let it go. The universe will bring it back together if it's supposed to be together. I know some people have a hard time believing that sometimes. Even if they're spiritual, they're like, no, but I want this to happen. Well, if it's not meant to be there, you're just kind of going against the grain until it finally forces your hand to let go. If this is really something you're supposed to be connected with, it will come back at the right time. I'm noticing here at the end you have unrequited love. There's going to be a period where you're completely disconnected. I'm not saying whatever this is completely over, but I'm saying there needs to be a cool down period where you need to step away from this situation. It needs to kind of take some time, and just you need to have a break, and so don't they, whoever they are. This actually I feel like will help you greatly. I feel like this is what they're saying. You need to let go of this issue. You need to step back, disconnect from this for a while, and really evaluate, is this fantasy or fiction? The reason you're connected, whatever this feels like here, that you have to be a part of it, is that real or is that not? Are you really, if you're not there, does it really fall apart? If they're not with you, do you really fall apart? Like, what's the fantasy or fiction of this? Because I feel like what they're saying is let go of this. Let this go its own way for a while. And if it's meant to come back together, it will. The universe will bring it back together. If it's not, allow your heart to heal and move on to something else. Or maybe this is not so much about your heart healing. Maybe their heart needs to heal. Maybe they need to realize that there's other things to go on here, and you don't need the guilt over it. Something along those lines. All right. There's that one. I very much enjoy that stone. Okay. What do we have for the next one? Selenite. Woo. Selenite is like, I think of it as a cleansing stone. I know other people that I know, they think it's more of a calmer, more gentle energy. I feel of it as I feel it's a cleansing stone. I use it to center my energy and tune my energy when I do readings a lot. I think it's a very positive stone, and I don't think anybody would argue that, but like the strength of it seems to be in question. I'm the type of person, I activate it, I pull it in, I tune to it, and then I, expand that energy, so maybe that's why I feel really good with it. This is also one of those energies, if you force it on somebody that does not want to be in a good mood, if they're in a bad mood, and they are determined to stay in that bad mood, if you put this near them, that could make them very, very difficult to deal with. I'm just saying, don't do it. Note from my own notebook. Learned the hard way. Don't do it. I'm just saying. Don't do it, man. Because at the time I did that, I didn't really understand what that was going to do, and I got an earful. I'm just saying. And they were fine. I thought they were fine before that, and then they just got near this stone, and it got a little cranky. I'm just saying. All right, so this situation. What do I not know about this situation that could help me? Let your friends and family help you. Bittersweet. Follow the circus. It hides the truth. Oh boy. Where are we going with this? Soulmate. Pay attention to red flags. Impasse. This is very... This feels dark to me. Even though you got the soulmate card here, that actually fits. I might get into that whole spiel about what I feel about soulmates in a minute. But this all fits together in my opinion. So you got bittersweet and you got let people help you. Friends, family, whatever you got going on here. Whatever you're dealing with, I feel like somebody's ignoring... Like, the circus makes me feel like somebody's creating a hubbub. Somebody's all loud and obnoxious. Or maybe they're fun. Maybe you're enjoying their energy, but you're kind of like, I'm just going to let them be. Whoever's creating the loudest noise, which I don't feel like this is too far-fetched, usually there's a reason for that. It's almost like the person in the most pain laughs the loudest. If you ever heard that saying, because they're trying to like push it down themselves. They're trying to hide it from themselves. Follow the circus, it hides the truth. Wherever things seem to be a little bit off center or something seems a little bit off base, it doesn't have to be really crazy in a positive way. Just like they're saying, there's something here that looks like it's out of sorts. And they're saying, follow that energy. It's bittersweet in the sense of like other people can tell you like, oh no, oh my gosh, they're having a lot of problems there. They just seem to be always late for this, always late for that. Or maybe they just, they're not paying bills on time, or there's just something off here where it's just kind of like, oh, they look like a circus. They're just one to the next. It's just town to town. Just, geez, come on now. There's so many things going on with those people. Get closer. Look closer at this circus because there's something here you need to see. If you want this situation to get better, they're saying this situation that seems like it's too busy, too much going on, maybe it's a little painful to watch. Could be. But they're saying get closer to it because something here isn't right. And if you get closer to it and really look closely, you can find out what's wrong. How many times can I use the word close? I'm just using it in different ways. Because I feel like they're saying, this is something you need to be a part of. Your perception, viewpoint, opinion could really like purify the situation. This is kind of like a purification stone if I haven't mentioned it. I feel like somebody else might need to point out or help somebody else not only point out, but like somebody else might need you to see them. Somebody else might need need a third party to see what they're going through and tell them, hey, this isn't okay. Let me help you try to find a way out of this, or let's talk about what's going on in your life and talk about the options you have. The more I'm feeling this, actually, like it feels like somebody isn't doing well, but their life is crazy, and they need somebody to sit down with them and say, hey, I'm watching your life, and I'm not trying to judge you, but I know you're not happy with what's going on. Let's just talk about things and what's happening. Let's just write it down. Just write it down best we can and like see what do you have to do, what do you not need to do. What's upsetting you? What are you worrying about that's not really helping you, just making you frantic? Where is this energy coming from? I just feel like this person needs a moment just to touch base and just kind of feel things out and find out what's going on. They need to see things in a different perspective. It's almost like they need somebody else to give them permission to step back and go, this isn't okay. Which is, I know that sounds strange, and I feel like if you look at this close enough and you find out what's going on, you're like, well, how do you not know that's not okay? Sometimes it does take that third party to say, hey, that's not all right. You don't deserve that, or this person doesn't deserve that. This shouldn't be happening. Sometimes just that person saying that out loud really snaps somebody into focus. Like, I don't know why, but they just need somebody else to tell them that. But then they probably will also need somebody with ideas to say, well, that's not going well. This isn't okay. Maybe you want to look into this, or maybe you want to look into that. I don't see you like going in a negative way at this, but I kind of feel like if you get close enough, something here is not going to look right to you, and it's going to be painfully obvious to you that it's not right. This other person, I just feel like somebody else needs to tell them and give them hope, like there's other ways to handle things. They just need to be seen. I feel like they need to be seen. Soulmate, red flags, impasse. Now the soulmate thing here, if I'm going to get on my soapbox about that, there's different ways to come across this energy. Like the great romantic, wonderful time, I feel like is usually kindred spirits. People we know in other lives that we feel very comfortable and happy with, that we match extremely well with. Those are those romantically wonderful moments. Soulmates, like these are people we're connected with on the other side without question. You don't have to keep looking for them when you're on the other side. They're just there. I don't know how else to explain that. So there's no need to be with them in this life. This life is about learning. It's not about having that moment with them. If they do choose to come in, which I hear is rare, but take it with a grain of salt, they're going to push you. They're going to push you to learn a lesson because you're going to be so attracted to them and so so magnetically bonded to them that you won't walk away from them. These are the people that usually bring forth the hard lessons, the hard, painful lessons. They drive you nuts. They're maddening. They drive you crazy. And usually it will go both ways, just to be fair. But that's why this card fits for me. That's what I usually get when I'm getting soulmate. Again, the romantic thing, the romantic fairy tale ideal is usually the kindred soul, where you match with somebody so well you feel like you've known them your whole life because you've probably lived many lives with them. They're a part of your soul group, and you can have that romantic bliss with that person. That's what people look for, that fantasy. That's what I personally feel that is. The soulmate is the challenger, kind of like, we're going to be together for eternity. You know, I didn't come here just to have a picnic with you. Let's get some work done. Let's do some soul searching here. Let's make some progress. Let's do something here that we can both be proud of and look back on like that was a worthwhile moment. While we were here, we made the best of it and really pushed some growth. I'm just saying. Now, the soulmate card with the red flags here and the impasse is like, when you find out what's going on in this situation, I don't feel like you're going to be able to look at it a different way. Like, it's going to be one of those moments where, you know, we got to fix this. Like, it just can't, it's not okay the way it is. Like, once you know what's going on with this person's life, you're not going to be like, well, that's their life. It's going to bother you. Once you open this door, once you see what's behind this door is probably a better way to put it. Once you see what's behind this door, you can't unsee it, and it's going to bother you, and you're going to want to fix it. Realize it's just for you to tell this person what you're seeing and give them options. You might be able to help them. It's a general read, but I feel like for the majority of you, it's kind of like being that person to talk with them, being that safe moment where you can say, hey, this isn't okay, and these are what I think, you know, here's some options I would think of. Or, you know, trying to make, maybe you're researching something for them on the internet, or you're talking to people on their behalf, trying to find some way to get them help. You might go that far, you know, or you're looking things up, who knows. But I'm getting like, there's a lot of red flags here. There's a lot of challenges. I don't think the soulmate card is for you. I don't know who's watching this, but I feel like for the majority of you, this probably isn't for you. It's more about this person and their attachment to whoever this is. Whatever the situation is, it's kind of like they don't feel like they can get out of it. They feel like they're supposed to be in it. That might be another big red flag. They feel like they're supposed to be in it. They can't get away from it. They just got to take it. And you're like, no, that's not good. The impasse here is telling me they're not going to go, it's not going to go easy. It's not going to go, this is not going to be an easy situation. It's definitely something where you can advise and try to help them. But you got to realize when all is said and done, it's up to them to actually take that help or walk away from it, whatever's right for them. That's also another part of this. The impasse is telling me, especially where it's showing up down here on their side, you can be as persistent, as helpful, as right on point. You can make your argument so airtight, but if they don't want to do it, and they just, you could have all the perfect facts reinforced with the proof right there, right with it. And if they don't want to believe it, you know what I mean? Then they won't believe it. If they don't want to move on it, they won't believe on it. It's on them. Impasse is telling me it's up to them to make choices. It's simply for you to tell them, I see this. I don't think this is okay. Here's what I think you should look into. I don't know if you want to tell them what to do, but say, here's some options I would consider looking into, maybe to fix your situation or make your situation better. Okay, so that's what you don't know. Are we good? All right, I think we're good with that one. Let's get that out of the way. I got one more left. Green calcite. There we go. The brain kicked in. That's fun. I think they're going to be over here, actually. This is the beginning. And this is all there. Let's see if we're all in focus here. This, well, then that funny. Let's see what, okay. This is push-pull, I can already feel. This is push-pull, 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 off and on, off and on, off and on, push-pull, push-pull. All right, so the green calcite, what I usually connect with this energy is focus. I use it for focus. I think of focus when I see this crystal. When I use it, that's what I'm looking for. Focus. Okay, so focus. This energy. Ooh, this something. This something. Let's see what that's about in a minute. First, we're going to read the message. It says, it's going to take a lot of steps, but you will get better over time. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. To me, it feels extremely aggravating when I'm looking at it. I don't know if you can read them on camera. I hope you can. But I feel like what they're saying about this situation is it's saying it's not really... It doesn't feel bad to me. I don't know. You have to decide for yourself if this is a healthy situation or not. But I feel like once you realize what's going on, I feel like it's hard because I feel like I'm going up a hill and like it's slipping gear, and then it's going uphill and it's slipping gear, and it's going uphill and it's slipping gear. And I feel like even if you're trying to get used to it, it's still quite aggravating. I feel like no matter what way you slice it, it's still aggravating. But as soon as you discover how this is going and the tempo, it's supposed to get better over time. It is. Enlightenment with discovery is like realizing like this is how this goes. This is how this story goes. Focusing on what you can count on and realizing that every 2 steps forward is gonna result in 1 step back. It's just gonna constantly do that. Discovering that, like first you got to discover it, but then it's like realizing like there's nothing you can do to stop it from happening. Unless you want to just give up on the situation altogether, that is an option. But I'm also getting like whatever the situation is, even though these are romance cards, and maybe this is a romantic situation for you. It doesn't have to be, but they're saying there's definitely an emotional attachment here. There's something about this that you want that is of value to you. Like for some of you, I feel like it has something to do with either a parent or a child or a sibling. Somebody that you feel very bonded to. Could be a friend. Somebody that you're very bonded to and you're just kind of like, well, I'm not giving up on this person for whatever reason. So there's that emotional attachment. Even though it says romantic feelings, it doesn't have to be like physical romance. It could be just kind of like your heart goes to them and you can't let it go. You just got to make sure that they're going to be okay. But it's one of those situations. It's always going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's not. I don't see you liking it. Whoever is watching, I can't see you going, oh, great, that's wonderful. Now that I know, everything's great. No, to me, like, I'm thinking of a situation where I had to deal with this, and I knew it was going to keep happening. It was still aggravating, but I just tried to kind of like, you try to zen it out. You know what I mean? Just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to chill. It's going to be okay. Meanwhile, you're jerking around all over the place, and you're just like, okay, all right. No, okay. No, I'm all right. I'm going to hold on. I'm not going to lose my marbles over this. It's still going to be difficult. I feel like it feels kind of to me like slow and steady wins the race. If you're able to step back and take breaks from this, I would highly, highly recommend it if you have that luxury. And I've realized for some of you that would be a luxury. If you can do that, I would highly recommend it because I feel like that could make this a lot more palatable for you. I still don't see you like going, oh yay, 1 step backwards. 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. That's okay, but we did 2 steps forward, and we're going to do 2 steps forward again, and we're going to take 1 step back. And 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I can't see at any point where you're like really feeling good about that. Sorry, because it's like reconciliation, separation. Reconciliation, separation. Can't let go because this person or situation means a lot to you. Your heart is in it. They're saying just focus. Realize that this is happening and that this is just how it's just going to keep going this way. I feel like when it says it's going to get better over time, it's going to be like, I swear it's going to be like 6 steps forward, 2 steps back. 6 steps forward, 2 steps back. You'll be making more progress. It's going to be notable, but there's still going to be, you're not going to fall back as much. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's always going to do that. I just feel like it's always going to do that. Again, if there's any way humanly possible, you can give yourself a break and step away from it and just breathe. Even if it's one of those things, and maybe I'm a jerk for saying this, but like, oh, I got a business meeting this weekend, or I got to go help this person at this point. Maybe you do. So you go do that, but you make sure that people think it's going to be 2.5 hours when maybe it's only 15 minutes. So you can take that other time and just go sit in the McDonald's parking lot and have yourself a little shake because that's what feels good to you. Or maybe, you're going to go and just hang out in a park for a minute and read a book and just have a moment where, you're okay, things are cool, nobody's bothering you. Turn your phone off. I do that. I think sometimes people don't like it. I do. I turn my phone off. I'm just like, I can't stand it anymore. There was a time in life where I didn't have a phone connected to me 24/7. And you know what? Everybody survived then. They'll survive again. I'm turning it off because I need some sanity. So you got to do what you think's right. But if you can get a break, I'm just saying, it can make such a difference. I can feel it. I'm just like, just give me a break. I just need a break. If it's something like that, maybe I'm a jerk for saying so, and if I am, then I am. But people may think it's going to take 2.5 hours. In reality, what you need to do takes 15 minutes. But then again, if you need that rest of that time to go sit in a park or go sit in the McDonald's parking lot and drink a shake just so you have a good moment, just so you feel good, I say do it. It's very good for your mental health. It'll make you feel a lot better. Anything else with this? All right, I think we're there. All right, I'm going to pick these up here. That's it. So thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thanks again. Bye.